WifiAnalyzer is a tool that runs on Android tablets or phones. It is something that every school should have available to teachers, as without such a tool understanding how the Wi-Fi at your school is behaving is difficult. Let's have a look at WifiAnalyzer. WifiAnalyzer runs on Android tablets and Windows computers, with Android being the preferred host. Unfortunately, WifiAnalyzer does not run on iPads, because the iPad's security settings do not allow an application such as WifiAnalyzer to obtain the necessary information from the network card. This icon here is the icon for WifiAnalyzer. To install WifiAnalyzer on your Android phone or tablet, you'll need to go to the Android Play Store and install WifiAnalyzer. As you can see, WifiAnalyzer is already installed on this Android tablet, so my option is to open, rather than install. Go ahead and install WifiAnalyzer on your Android device. After you've installed WifiAnalyzer, go ahead and open it. This is usually the initial screen shown when you open WifiAnalyzer. It is showing graphically what access points are active within the range of your device, what Wi-Fi channels each is using, and how powerful each signal is. You might be asking, what is an access point? Probably, you've also heard the term router, and perhaps wondered what they are and what the difference between them is. These days the terms access point and router are used interchangeably, but they actually perform different functions. A router facilitates the connection of one type of network to another type of network. Your broadband router at home, for example, takes the broadband signal from your ADSL modem and passes it for use to the device that makes it available to your computers via Wi-Fi. That device, which provides a portal for your wireless devices to connect to your incoming broadband network, is called an access point. This diagram is showing that we have 3 access points detectable by WifiAnalyzer. This shows a good situation, where there is no competition between the access points, that is, they are all using separate non-overlapping channels, and there aren't other access points competing to use the limited available channels. Compare that with this WifiAnalyzer graph at a different location. With all the competition for channels and the channel overlapping, it would be very difficult to get decent Wi-Fi access in this location. This image indicate which access points are active on the 2.4 GHz bandwidth. We'll have a look at the 5 GHz bandwidth shortly. WifiAnalyzer has a number of useful views. This next one is a signal power indicator, which lets you select any of the access points and show how powerful its signal is. If you are experiencing areas in your school where there seem to be wireless dropouts, taking your Android tablet with WifiAnalyzer to that area and examining what access points are running and what the power level of those access points is, will give you an insight into what the problem might be. If you see that a large number of access points are competing for service, with access points using overlapping channels, that indicates that your 2.4 GHz channel is swamped. And if you see that the power is low, that indicates that your signal is having difficulty traveling the distance to where you are doing the testing, or is having to pass through obstacles such as walls. This next view is a more technical one. It shows each access point, its power level, the channel it is using, and the MAC address of the access point. A MAC address is the unique ID of the wireless device in the access point. Every wireless device in the world has its own unique MAC address. The final screen shows the power level of each access point over time, showing how its power level increased or decreased whilst WifiAnalyzer was measuring. Back to the first screen, and we'll show you how, if your Android tablet supports both 2.4 and 5 GHz, WifiAnalyzer can detect both 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz access points. We are currently seeing the access points in the 2.4 GHz bandwidth that WifiAnalyzer has detected. If we click on the 2.4 GHz indicator, that will switch us to the 5 GHz band. As you can see, in the 5 GHz bandwidth there is only one access point nearby. Note that besides selecting views from the icons at the bottom of the screen, you can also swipe the screen to move from view to view. An Android tablet capable of operating in both the 2.4 and 5 GHz bandwidth, running WifiAnalyzer, is probably a necessity in any school operating a BYOD program. For these reasons, all schools install firewalls to prevent students from accessing undesirable websites through the school internet. However, during recess, students turn on their mobile phones and turn them into Wi-Fi hotspots, enabling them to check their Facebook pages, etc., by bypassing the school Wi-Fi. And their friends who don't have broadband access at school share the hotspot through Wi-Fi onto their phones. This creates two potential problems for schools. The first is that if students don't turn off the Wi-Fi hotspots when recess is finished and bring their phones into class with their hotspots running, they are competing with the school access points for Wi-Fi channel usage. At present this is not a severe problem, as almost all schools are on the 5 GHz bandwidth, and most students' smartphones are still using 2.4 GHz. However, all new smartphones support the 5 GHz bandwidth, and soon all student Wi-Fi hotspots will be on the 5 GHz wavelength. This means that a teacher could at any time have 10 or more students in their classroom with Wi-Fi hotspots active in mobile phones in student bags, disrupting Wi-Fi communication in the classroom. For this reason, it is important that the school BYOD policy include provisions that disallow students from having their phone running a Wi-Fi hotspot during class time. In addition, schools need to consider whether they should implement a policy that bans student use of Wi-Fi hotspots during school hours and on school premises, to meet the school's obligation to ensure that students are not exposed to undesirable websites during school hours. This could happen during recess through student use of non-firewalled Wi-Fi hotspots. If a school does implement such a policy, the problem arises of how it is policed, and that is where WifiAnalyzer comes into its own. WifiAnalyzer will detect any hotspot nearby, whether it be on the 5 GHz or 2.4 GHz channel, and if teachers are supplied with an Android tablet to carry about them during their recess duty, they can see student Wi-Fi hotspots operating nearby, and ensure that appropriate action is taken to enforce the policy.